Hello, we're Impact Source. I'm Chelsa,
I'm Carlos. I'm Luke.
And I'm Alivia.
and we are the gateway to growth.
And I wanted to come up with a story that would demonstrate qualities that I'm sure you all admire here, like earnestness, or diligence, and team playing, something. And I couldn't think of anything. So the truth is, I was arrested for failure to pay parking tickets. Parking tickets? And I ran all the way here from the police station.
What were you doing before you were arrested?
I was painting my apartment.
Is it dry now?
I hope so.
Jay says you were pretty determined.
Oh, he's been waiting outside in front of the building with some 40-pound gizmo for over a month.
He said you're smart.
I like to think so.
You want to learn this business.
Yes, sir, I'm gonna learn this business.
You already started learning on your own?
Absolutely.
Jay,
Yes, sir.
how many times have you seen Chris?
I don't know. One too many, apparently.
Is he ever dressed like this?
No. Jacket and tie.
First in your class? In school? High school?
Yes, sir.
How many in the class?
12. It was a small town. But I was also first in my radar class in the Navy, and that was a class of 20. Can I say something? I'm the type of person, if you ask me a question and I don't know the answer, I'm gonna tell you that I don't know. But I bet you what? I know how to find the answer, and I will find the answer.
This is the type of person that we want in our company. 15,000 people every year in Indiana take and pass the GED. But the problem is they're stuck. They can't go forward because they don't have the opportunity or the resources to do so. So that's what we want to fix. We want to try to fix that problem. A problem with them being stuck is that, yeah, they can get a job, but it's an entry-level position. It's nothing that they actually can, move up in and take and actually do a professional position with that. And that's what we want to try to do here.
So how do we fix this? And we believe the solution is payroll outsourced services. Yes, payroll. And what we believe is that Impact Source is a for-profit solution for economically stuck people through the business model of payroll outsourcing. What we do is we believe as a company that we come alongside both our clients and our employees and encourage them with growth. So we go out, we recruit small businesses throughout the state of Indiana. We sell them. We help them figure out how do we encourage you as a small business owner, as an executive in that business, where you need to be focused most in, and that needs to be in growth. So we come in a very specialized area, and we take their payroll services out. They outsource it to us. We have that product, right? We have that business now. At that same time, we are training and developing people professionally and technically and personally to work on this, to be payroll specialists, to manage this. The reason why we chose payroll is the basic thing. It's not a technical skill. It leads to, though, a career path. It gives them the ability to have dignity, to have a career path, to have opportunity. But our goal is to see growth in the small business by helping them focus more on revenue-generating activities, but also at the same time helping these people who are stuck. They don't have the opportunities like this man. They're passionate, they're willing to work, but they don't. What do? They don't. It's not out there. And we provide that. We train them and then put them in a full-time employment with this skill and train them well. We're competitive in a couple different areas. The first area is price, and we'll talk about that later. The second area is with our executives and our expertise. With the $20 million startup capital that we will have, we will go out and source executives at the CEO level, a talent developer, which will be focused completely on the development of our talent, from professionally, technically, and personally in that area. And how do we raise them and take them from something where they come in as a stuck economically, economically stuck individual to someone who has a career path and a future. The other person is business development, sales. They're the ones going out finding these new clients for us to do the work. And the last one is a project manager, the one to actually manage the outsourcing project within our company. But the way we're going to attract them is we're taking that $20 million and we're going to guarantee a 3-year salary. Because what we're looking for is people that have the 10 to 20 years experience. So if you're a professional in the outsourcing industry, if you're working at the Aon Hewitts or the ADPs that are doing this work, why would you ever leave your job if you're mid-career? You could come out and start a startup and now you have a 3-year gap in your window. So if we can guarantee salary and give them equity, we believe that we can attract the right talent. These people are the nucleus to this business. We want them to be passionate about this business. We want them to understand the implications of the development of the employee, taking somebody from who's stuck, who doesn't have opportunities, and providing that opportunity, to now to also providing a quality service. But most of all, we are making a difference with this company. We're going in, looking at people and saying, how can we develop you? We're going to give you the skills. We're going to give you that base foundation to have a future and to have opportunities ahead of you.
Now we want to introduce you to Jim. Jim lives in Indy. He's 25 years old and he has a 5-year-old son. Education-wise, he only has a GED. So while he's been actively job searching, he can't find anything because the opportunities just aren't there at that education level. So now we are going to show you the 4 stages that he's going to go through with our company. In stage 1, we see Jim at the GED Testing Center, where he sees a job posting for Impact Source. He decides to take the chance and see if this opportunity could be for him. So he applies to our training program. Jim is our ideal target for recruitment. He has the ambition to go back and get his GED, even though that's not necessarily going to get him a job that's going to be a sustainable income for his family. So what we're going to do is take him and develop his skills and make him into a skilled worker.
Okay, now we're in stage 2. In stage 2, Jim is already in our company. He already have done his application process and he's ready to go. How are we going to do this? We're going to sign a contract with Jim to stay and make sure that he will stay with us the 6 months that we're going to have our training program. And also, during this time, he will be paid every month the minimum wage full-time job. Why are we doing this? For 2 main reasons. The first one is we're going to motivate him. He's just getting trained and he's getting paid. So he's willing to come to our training sessions. And as well, we're doing it monthly, so we can track how he's doing technically and how he's improving professionally as well. Then we'll go to stage, back to stage 2. We also ensure in the contract that he will stay with us at least 1 year after he's done with the training. So we can establish a good workforce in our company, so people is not leaving us after they train, because we want to keep it with us. Now we move to stage number 3. In this time, Jim is already like maybe 2 or 3 months with us. He's being established because he's having a stream of revenue, a constant stream of revenue, so he starts seeing the change. He also starts having a foundational and technical skills in the payroll environment. And as well, he's learning how to behave in a job, how to behave with people, and how to develop in a professional level.
Now stage 4 is interesting because I'm gonna kind of interject a little bit of story that goes along with Jim and why this process is so important and really putting a value to what we're doing. A very close friend of ours came down with cancer and he had to leave the workforce for over a year to go through his chemo and his processes. And what was funny is the one thing he told us, and the one thing that drove him nuts about cancer was he said, I lost my dignity. I couldn't provide for my family. I lost a job. No one's going to hire me. I can't work. And where am I because of insurance and all that stuff. And so what we're looking at is bringing people their dignity. Now this person, Jim, has a sustainable income. He knows what it's like to have a job, a salaried job. He knows what it's like to have a career and work every day and have his dignity and provide for himself and for his family. And now you're looking at the true sustainability of that person. Sometimes we try to put out policies and create these models that really, are they really working? When all it boils down to is, do they have a sustainable long-term job and a growth pattern that a company that truly cares? And that is why we are so, we believe in this personal and professional development of skills and who they are. There was a study out by Gallup on engagement, and it talked about how engaged employees, there's only about 30% of them in the market. And less than 30%, I think it was about 17%, are actively engaged. That accounts to over $550 billion of lost income to companies, revenue generation, because of their non-engaged. We're creating someone that's engaged, they're connected to this career path, and they see a future. There's opportunities now in front of them, where before, there was nothing. There was just constant no's, no's, no's. And where do we go? What do we do? And that's what stage 4 of this process looks like. A truly thriving and engaged person in the marketplace. Now, going back to the pricing, what we're doing is we looked at what a lot of the other companies are doing, and why we're price competitive is the ADPs, the Paychecks, the Intuits. A lot of these companies out there, what they do is they have lots of services, tons and tons of payroll services that are doing this. But they're also focusing on HR, they're focusing on a lot of other areas. What we want to do is be very niche in the area of payroll. We don't want to move around, and so what we're able to do is we're able to limit our services but become very specific in the niche. And that's why we're able to be at the $50 price point per person per month that's outsourced to us. And that is very price competitive in the market. And like I talked to you before, the executive expertise is key to this company. We believe that they're the nucleus, and they're going to be kind of the core values and the culture will kind of emulate or come out of them. We're developing well-trained people. That's what we want. We want to see somebody that has absolutely no training, but they have the base. They're kind of like an iPhone that has all the capabilities, but none of the apps on it. We want to put those apps, those skills, those abilities in them to be able to grow and develop. And like I said before, we're making that difference in the people. And I know we don't like to say business is lovey-dovey, and charity sometimes sells, charity sometimes doesn't sell. But when you begin to develop people because you're caring about them, they're our capital base, they're our assets. And when we begin to look at them as more than just an hourly employee, and we're making them do work that matters, that's what's important. That's what Impact Source is about.
It's been proved that when people is happy to work in a company, they're willing to come every day and give more of them. They will be more profitable, they will have more ideas, they will be willing to give like themselves for the company because we care about them and we invest in them. So we expect them to love them back. So they're gonna do it because they like us, they realize what we have done for them. So they're willing to come every day and give the best that they have.
Now we want to take you back to our first example. And we want to show you, after going through these stages of the process, what it looks like.
Hi, Chris.
Mr. Fromm, good to see you.
Nice shirt.
Thank you, sir. Yes. I thought I'd wear a shirt today, being the last day.
Thank you. Thank you. We appreciate that. But wear one tomorrow, though, okay? Because tomorrow is going to be your first day. If you'd like to work here as a broker. Would you like that, Chris?
Yes, sir.
Good. We couldn't be happier. So, welcome. Was it as easy as it looked?
No, sir. No, sir, it wasn't.
Good luck, Chris.
Thank you.
Oh, Chris. I almost forgot.
Thank you. This part of my life, this little part, is called happiness.
example of what our company strives to do. We believe in giving people chances, not because of the credentials that they have or anything like that, just because of the potential that we believe they have. So we just want to give a quick recap of our stages. The first stage is the recruitment and market development process. Our second stage is our training process. The third stage is the full-time position, and the fourth stage is sustainable career and growth opportunity. And you also have those there on the handout we gave you. We appreciate your time. Thank you so much.
I have a question. How are you going to market to other businesses to leave the payroll company that they're going with, or if they're doing it internally, to go with you guys, whose the employees don't have don't have the expert experience?
Well, two things. Our goal is when the first year of our business, right? What we're devoting that to is the development of the marketing and the name recognition, but also the recruitment. But after this, that second 6 months is we're developing the people, and that's going to be a very intentional and intensive process of us molding them to become payroll specialists. A lot of times you go into companies and you get 2 weeks, of intro and figure it out. We're really looking at, okay, these people are a blank slate. What do we incrementally need to do to develop them with the skills they have to have? So our hope is that they will be at that level, train-wise. And then secondly, to attract people is the price point. And the focus of our services. I've talked to people that say, there's a lot of, Salesforce example, there's a lot of things that really small companies, do they need all of those services and that capacity? No. And then so what we want to do is provide that same type of idea of, let's really narrow in. Maybe they just want their payroll. They can't afford to have all their services taken out. So our hope is price point and having that skill level to where it needs to be.
In the first stage of our business, we're planning to focus in small and mid-sized companies in Indiana that go maybe from 10, maybe to 15 employees to 200. So that's our main target at the beginning of the stage.
What are you going to use to select candidates? I assume that you wouldn't.
Mm-hmm. We're planning to go through application process, screening those candidates, doing normal background tests and drug tests and stuff like that to kind of, filter out some people, because we know we're probably going to get in, tons and tons of people with all kind of problems. And one thing we did think about is, do we want to take this to a counseling service where we help addicts that have, these issues and stuff? And we didn't think that that's where we were wanting to focus. We wanted to focus on the people who were really just stuck, as we've said so many times, not so much to have problems, but they're in the gap year where they just can't find that employment, but they have the potential. Okay. So that's how we're planning on filtering out those people.
Okay, and then once these candidates are selected and they have the training time period and the contract year, do you expect for them to work for you forever, or is this training to go to a different company?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what we decide. The first 6 months of our company will be just we're gonna stay at our company. We're gonna start hiring our executive department, and also we're gonna start our marketing development. So by the time it's the second semester of the year, we already did our recruitment and we'll start our training period. That will be a length of 1 year. Then the next year, we'll introduce them in our company, who's gonna provide these payroll services. And then, but we already signed a contract for at least 1 year, because we realize that we invest some money in them. Also, of course, we need some source of revenue. But we say at least because we wanted to give the opportunity if they want to go or if they want to stay. But we are concerned, and at the same time we're not, because we feel that our environment, our company environment, we're gonna focus more in here, what we can do for them to make him happy and being working. So we at least expect that he will stay with us for more than 1 year after the contract expires.
Yeah. We definitely want to give them an option. We don't want to set the contract so long to where they're stuck here, because our whole point of doing this is to promote growth with them. But we want to create a sustainable, atmosphere for them to have a sustainable salary with us, So
what does that mean exactly when you say that? So the reason you picked this is because you think GED level people can develop into doing this kind of a job with your training, then what kind of a salary does that mean? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
Yes.
So what we're looking at
Roughly.
is that in that first year, that first 6 months of training, it's just gonna be a minimum wage. We're just gonna sustain them at a level of, okay, we're training you, we're investing in you, but we're gonna.
okay, then what about the year after that?
Year after that, we will.
They're signing a contract.
They're signing a contract, and it will be hourly paid.
Oh,
And we did not do price analysis on where we need to be at that price point, but it will not be like a $50 an hour job. It'll be, mid-teens is what we're seeing. And, and if they progress, hitting those reviews and stuff, then we will promote them and increase their salary.
So other companies like ADP have similar people doing these kind of jobs at $15 an hour? I don't know.
At more, because of the experience. So a lot of them will have that, like for instance, an Aon Hewitt, okay? They, what they have is their base person it's called a business delivery specialist role. And it's a little bit higher than an entry level, but it starts at $45,000 a year. And so we're not gonna give them a salary, right? And the reason why it starts at $45,000 is because of the experience that they have. You have to have a 4-year education. You have to have a GPA requirement, and there's all these requirements built in. So what we're saying is, that's how we're gonna, part of that price point is, we're not gonna pay at 45 or on a salary position. We're gonna keep you at hourly wage at above like a $15 an hour area to incentive them to come in.
Right. I mean, well, that's kind of where it disconnect. So like you just said, people that get these jobs have 45,000, 4-year degrees and all that, and then you're saying guys that have GEDs can be trained to do this job like those guys?
Yes.
Because
Based on this industry, I guess?
we just believe that they have the potential to. Because for some reason that they didn't make it to the college stage. Whatever held them back, they could have potentially been college and had, that, but we want to give them a chance to develop those skills because we believe that they have the potential to do so without the degree, without those credentials.
And at the technical level of those jobs is a very basic thing. Doing basic payroll work is fairly simple, and that's where the project managers, and that's where our staff's not gonna have 5,000 people. It's gonna be a very narrow amount of people managed and trained over that 6 months. But it's a very technical, we're looking at the tasks, because we can do a lot of different things in outsourcing, giving people experiential learning experiences, but there's aspects, you're gonna outsource all marketing, well, there's creative aspects, and that's actually a true, kind of like a God-given talent you have. But this is a very basic level of, accounts receivable, payable, checks, payments, and you're submitting your tax filings. Simple, basic work that we're just trying to provide them. We're not asking for brilliance. We're just asking for a work ethic and a trainable person, and that's where the application process is going to be important.
And I don't know if you guys remember, Luke mentioned how much money we're gonna spend in our executive department. We're gonna try to attract them just like profit-wise, They will come for it because we're gonna provide them 3 years of a really good salary. That's what we're trying to get, their experience, their expertise, bring it to us. And at the beginning of our business cycle, of course, we wanna be in a small quantity, so we actually can make sure that we're doing this right. That's actually why we decide for the first 6 months do a recruit process, so we kind of start picking those guys that we actually feel that they can grow.
It's a very intensive program too. We're on our first year, we're only bringing in 20 trainees. So we've got these 4 professionals, and these trainees are going to be here for 6 months, 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. They're going to be getting that experience.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know the payroll process inside and out, but I suspect that it's software based most of the time. The employers are going to submit just how many hours they worked, and you plug that into the software and it spits out everything. It does it for you. So to me, it seems like 6 months of training is a lot. I don't know. I'm just wondering what are you training on for 6 months, and can the business model afford to pay them for 6 months of training when, you know, the ADPs of the world are gonna be, you know, trying to do it in 2 weeks, you know, and is that sustainable? I don't know.
During our 6 months training, I'm sorry if you, during that, we're not planning on actually having them working. So we're just planning on taking that time solely, that first year solely, to train them, not only on the payroll skills, but just their personal skills, you know, just how having them, you know, all the things you need to know to survive in a business, that type of thing, that they might not have gotten before coming to us. So the soft skills that they need before, you know, we give them that stuff. So the entire first year is not just going to be drilling in them the payroll. It's just going to be all of that stuff. And then we plan the second year to actually start having them implement those skills that we teach them.
We consider your point, and as you know, I mean, business implement risk. We don't know how the future is going to look like. So we decide kind of like play safe, but at the same time, get really deep on that. But that's a really good point that we're struggling as well with it.
And we don't have a lot of capital costs in the business. And so the way we saw it was, instead of buying a $3 million machine in manufacturing, we're going to invest that into the people. And that was kind of a rationale. I mean, we looked at a lot of different ways of modeling that, but we boiled down to saying, okay, well, if other companies are going to invest that, whether and you know, we have that $20 million startup capital. And so that's what we're kind of looking at is let's just invest that into people and develop those people and really look at technically, because you know, you can have a really great accountant, but has unbelievably no work ethic, you know, and so that's what we're really looking at is, okay, how do we do that? And that model of developing that person as a engaged, thriving person. And if that process, if they at a point where they just are working full time for us and that's not happening, well, as any business, they would be removed. This is not a charity. It's not something where, oh, we see you on the street, let's bring you in. We're looking for those people that have that motivation, that drive, but they're stuck. It's like, what do we do? And that's kind of how we perceive that issue.
Okay. Thanks a lot, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.